Hi, welcome back to Photography Beyond 70. I'm your Beyond 70 host, David Prather. I told y'all the last video that I was going to be shooting a very large event this weekend. It was for music makers. It was their 30th anniversary banquet and show. They have been taking care of legendary musicians for 30 years, and they do wonderful work. I got to meet some of the people at the event. Uh, they're very generous people. These are people that could have been retired living on an island somewhere, and yet they have chosen to contribute their resources to taking care of uh, these musicians that, well, quite frankly, being a musician, we're not the best at managing money. And these guys help take control of some of the financial challenges that especially older musicians face later on in their careers. So I took the R6 Mark II. It was the first time I've done a large event with it. Curious to see how it would perform. As far as the Mark 6 goes, or Mark 2, 3, 2, 1 blast off, as far as the R6 Mark 2 went, it was flawless. Caught focus instantly. It took me a while to get that focus down and to get the back buttons set up the way I needed for my photography use, but it nailed it. The other thing that I was testing out was how could I take this event without a zoom. That's a newer challenge for me, but I don't want to invest in expensive glass until I know what I need. So I shot the event with the moderately priced prime lenses that the non-L prime lenses that Canon offers. And I've got to tell you, you're going to see some photos here. It was top professional grade stuff. Again, I don't shoot wildlife. I don't shoot action. I don't shoot the type of photography that needs extreme detail. But, you know, this got enough of it. A lot of them raved about some of the portraits that they did. I did have an opportunity on the second day to go to a recording studio and a film studio that they have created in a little town in Fountain, North Carolina. And they had a 1950s light in this studio, and they had a backdrop that had been hand painted in the 60s. And I asked the organizer if he wouldn't mind posing while I use that equipment to take his portrait. And I'll show that to you here in a minute. I've got to have one of those lights. I have no idea what they cost. It's a constant light. It's not a flash strobe or anything like that. But it produces the softest, most even light that I've ever seen. I chase that look all the time with my modifiers and different lighting setups. But anyway, we'll take a look at that. But as far as the lenses, I use the exclusive, the 16 for some wide shots of the whole event. There were about 170 people there on Friday night at the event. The ticket sales, I think the tickets, they were quite pricey, and it was sold out. And then they had some people playing that night that for me were legends. Albert Lee, Loretta Woodruff, you know, Downtown Brown. I mean, just it was wonderful. And I've got some shots of them. I got, of course, being the photographer of the event, I got to get some really close stage shots of them. And then as an event photographer, people want to be seen at the event. The organizer wants the people that contribute and pay to get in there to have photos taken of them and to get a feel of the event. So I did that. I also, just for my own grins and for your benefit, when I took photos of some details like the bar, the bottles on the bar, I switched to sort of product photography mode, and you'll see those in this camera, the files that I had to work with, and just the colors that I could work with. I am so pleased with it. So let's go ahead and take a look at some. Oh, I did have one thing to mention. I got the little 685-2 flash to put on the camera because I needed something that would work with the Canon hot shoe. I've got a couple other Godox flashes that I've used that have the lithium battery in them. This had 6 AA lithiums that you can recharge. It had given me some kind of battery life that I thought I could live with the event. It died on me, thank goodness. It died on me as the last act was performing. I had to do a ton of editing on those photos without that on-camera flash to help even out the lighting on that stage. But I would, personally, I think I'm going to sell that thing and get a lithium battery. Well, I'm going to have to. I can't afford to have my flash die on me and no way to charge it, no backups. I mean, I'm not going to carry, what is it, like 8 AA batteries on me to an event. So that's going to go. I think for just fun shooting around, it's probably well, the photos I took with it turned out really nicely, I think. Shot it at about 128. Aimed it, bounced it off the ceiling, a couple times off the walls, and you can see that it did just fine while it was working. But let's get into it. You know, what I do when I shoot an event, I try to get like something that just gives you an idea of what the environment is there. Loading in some shots of that, some of the support people that are working at the event, what goes on at the event, and then get a little more detailed shots of the organizer, the people that are on their board and their committee, and then get some good details of the artists that were performing at the show. These people come to see those artists. I know a lot of people have never even heard of them, but there's other people like me that have been studying those folks for years. The next day, we went to Fountain, North Carolina, got on a bus, and went and saw what Music Makers has put together up there. They bought a general store, made a venue out of it. What a feeling. The sound is wonderful. They bought another building to put a photography studio in there. I'll be working in there some more. And they also put a top flight recording studio in there. I believe that Don Flemons and Jimbo Mathis have already done some work over there in that. I was going to listen to some of the tracks. I just didn't have time. It was a pretty busy event. But I've got some shots of what went on there. Very interesting. So here we go. Let's look at some photos. And you may have noticed that my camera is catching focus a little bit better. I'm learning more and more how to do this video stuff that I was really just learning. But anyway, feeling better and better about that. So let's get over to the photos, and we'll talk about them, some of the settings, the lenses that were used, and what I may be doing down the line. Okay, let's talk a little bit about some of these photos. Basically what I was doing, I apologize for the hodgepodge way these things were loaded in. I'm going to have to learn that a little bit better. But the majority of the photos that were taken the first night were done on the 28-2.8 and the 50-1.8. Outside ISOs were, let me look at my notes here, ISOs were around 200, yeah, right around 200 for the outside photos. But what was amazing, oh, by the way, I kept my aperture about 3.2. Seemed to get enough depth that I could catch most everything I wanted to, but it would still fall off behind the subjects. And I shot everything both days at 1/250th of a second. See if there's anything interesting. Well, you know, my ISO settings went anywhere from 4,000, actually from 2,500 as high as 10,000 ISO, and no problems with the ISO. A little bit of grain, but you know what, I don't mind that too much. What I'm looking more for is, you know, some detail in the grain and just good composition, good subjects, that sort of thing. So just want to point, the very last photo that I featured was the one where I used that 1950s light and the 1960s hand-painted backdrop. That's the guy that actually heads up music makers. He started it. It was his baby, and he's developed into a worldwide organization that is just, he's got to be a genius as far as I'm concerned, what he's pulled off, and the people he's brought in from all over the world to contribute and sit on his board and also just support the organization. But that photo, I've got to have one of those lights. Otherwise, I'll be running up to his studio all the time. That was with the one light. I can imagine what we could do with just a little dip, maybe two lights added to that. One would probably be adequate, but God, did they know how to make lighting back in the day? And now we've got like 10,000 lights, 10,000 modifiers. It's just beyond me what they could do with that old stuff. And that light, of course, was designed for film photography. But so what I'm going to do going forward is to keep putting up events that this camera is being used for, or different assignments that I'm getting down the line. and so far I've found no reason why I should have avoided buying this camera. In fact, I'm really seriously considering getting the R8 as a backup. The more I look into it and talk to other photographers, for me, I don't think the Mark III coming down the pipe for this R6 is anything I need. I can get what I want with this. The video, I'm super happy. I wish to heck I knew how to color grade better. What I'm looking at right now is exactly what I'd like for you to be seeing on the screen, but it hasn't come out like that yet. Perhaps it's the software I'm using, CapCut, but I have a feeling it's all comes down to my ignorance. So please subscribe and like this video. I can continue to grow it. We'll get more into specs as we go along. The lenses, if you'd like to know more about, the spec that's on them, I'll be glad to do it. Oh, one thing I might mention, I did borrow a friend's 24-70, I believe, might have been a 4, and put it on here for video. I can tell you that the L lens compared to the lenses I'm using is faster. I mean, significantly faster in grabbing focus. So that would be a reason to buy the high dollar glass. And I'm considering trying to decide which one I want to go with, the 24-70. I do the real estate, so I may, look at that 14-35. But anyway, we'll discuss that down the line. Any comments, please send them my way. I really appreciate the folks that are asking questions. So far, I've had actually 2 replies to my videos. To me, I'm thrilled with that, and getting some views. And I hope you guys, no matter what your age is, get out and shoot. You can read 1,000 million books and articles and listen to a jillion YouTube videos on how to shoot and how to do photography and this, that, and the other. But nothing beats getting out there, learning your exposure triangle, learning what your equipment can do, and developing the eye to see a good subject, good composition, and good lighting. Anyway, have a great week, and I'll be posting another video here probably the next couple of days. I got some ideas I want to throw your way, and again, thank you so much.